Hello, welcome to Mamemeister's 10-minute mashup. Today's game is Mach 3 by Loriciels. Can I ever pronounce that properly? Loriciels? I don't know. Anyway, in October 1987. As you can probably hear here, it's quite impressive sound. Now, it was one of the very, very early games on the 16-bit machines, and the biggest problem with these games was it was all fur coat and no knickers, which basically meant that it looked lovely, but there was bugger all gameplay. There was always plenty of sampling effects going on with music and that kind of stuff, speech, etc. Nice title screen, as you can see. In fact, is that a bit of a nipple effort going on there? I think it is. They didn't get that released now. I'm surprised they got away with that one. Yeah, and it says, but the actual game tended to be pretty shite. Excuse me. So anyway, without much further ado, let me batter on. How do we play this? Now, if I remember rightly, this is
Get ready.
a race game of some sort. Okay, right, so you appear to be a cooking tray, a flying cooking tray. Now, I'm actually trying to figure out, is it a race game? Is it a shoot 'em up? I'm guessing it's just a shoot 'em up here because if it was a race game, then there wouldn't be any point in actually flying along the ground, and then you can just fly in there. First off, graphics are... static graphics are passable, I suppose. But as you can see there, the animation is slightly juddery to say the least. Haven't a clue. Oh, I appear to have died. Can I fly through these things? Don't know. Am I actually destroying anything here? I'm trying to figure out if I am or not. It needs to make its mind up. Is it a race game? Which there's no timer, so I'm guessing no. It looks like I've got some lives. It looks like some kind of taking a space harrier game. Albeit a poor one at that. You get a little noise when you go through that, so I'm guessing, oh, there's another peeking tray attacking me. Yeah, I remember getting this game at the time on my ST. And again, it was one of these games that says, statically wise, you know, screenshots look really nice. Bear in mind, you'd gone from a 16-bit, 8-colour machine like the Commodore 64 or Spectrum, whatever it was, Amstrad, to something that looked really nice. But when you actually start playing the game, you realise it's pretty shite. I mean, I've been playing it for what, 3 minutes now, and it's just bloody boring. I think it needs to make its mind up. Is it a racing game? Is it a shooting game? I don't know. If it's a shooting game, there's a complete lack of enemies, it would appear. But as I say, this is a perfect example of excuse me, dearie me, a perfect example of an early 16-bit game. You know, fancy sampled speech, sort of semi-nice graphics, but they just forgot to add gameplay. But you know what, these games sold by the bucket load because that was all that was available. When you first got your ST... Oops! You need to shoot these, I'm guessing. Yeah, when you first got your 16-bit machine, you would lap these games up because you could show off to your Spectrum and Commodore 64 pals with the graphics. But then when you actually see it moving, it's pretty woeful, what has to be said. Don't know how this game scored at the time in the magazines, but like Christ, that's pretty shite. See, they're more concerned about putting sampled speech and things like that in. Oh, high score. Now you may or may well have not have noticed that I have ditched the. I used my fancy camera last night to make the yesterday's mashup, and yeah, for all it's nice and sharp, oddly enough, it seemed to. I don't know. It almost looked like it was in black and white. It looked like the game was in one colour. Don't know what was going on there. So I'm using my wee cheapo digital camera, which seems to give a kind of nicer picture. You can certainly see the colours and that kind of stuff. So yes, I'm trying to figure out. I can't shoot the. I don't shoot the craters. What's happened here? I could have run out of bullets. Why can't I shoot? Have I run out of bullets? Looks like I have. Ah, the bullets have resumed again. But yeah, for me personally, I went from a Commodore 64 to an Atari ST, and I says the initial jump in graphics etc. was, you know, graphic quality was pretty massive. But then, I don't know, I quickly realised that the games that were coming out in ST, they just weren't that good. Now I know, I do realise there's a lot of good games in the ST, but I actually had the ST for a very, very short space of time. I moved across to the Commodore Amiga pretty quickly. Now I'm sure the ST found its feet eventually, but in the short space of time that I had it, this was the kind of pretty much the standard fairy games, you know, digitised sound, whatever, but the actual sort of gameplay itself seemed to be lacking. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some classic games that I remember buying at the time on the ST, like Oids and things like that, but there was just an awful lot of the generic kind of games that were trying to sort of, you know, try and woo their customers with fancy graphics, but it says when you actually sit down and play it, you realise they're pretty poor. But I said I did move on to the Amiga probably before the ST actually had time to find its feet. Fuel is fire. Ah, right, okay, at the very top there you've got fuel, which is obviously your fuel, and then you've got fire, so I'm guessing that must show you when your gun's about to run out. Now I don't know what the other things at the top are. You've got your different red kind of bar things. Right, okay, so that's, you've got your fire thing there, that's fine. Right, now, I'm just noticing that, so you've got fuel. I am guessing there must be some sort of fuel pod or something I need to pick up. Or is that the blue or black squares that are going down? Do they give you fuel? Don't know. But yeah, Loriciels, or however you pronounce it, I think they were a French company. They were one of the kind of sort of first main companies to publish for the ST. They had things like, did they have Captain Blood? No, what did they have? Yeah, Captain Blood, that's right. There were all these kind of weirdy sort of arty-farty looking games. Again, they seem to really go in for sort of digitised sound and music in a big way. But their game and graphics, statically graphics look really nice. But when you actually sat down and played them, they were pretty poor games compared to what was out in the sort of 8-bit machines. But yeah, so I says the ST was a bit of a... that didn't seem to do anything with the fuel. The ST wasn't... I enjoyed the initial jump up in graphics and playing about with the ST, but it didn't. There wasn't actually that many games in the ST that I thought were particularly good. And so I quickly moved across to the Amiga when it kind of came down in price. But yes, as I says, the ST, there's a lot of obviously better games followed. I think did Loriciels not do Turbo Cup as well? I think they might have. And again, that was another game similar to this. Nice static graphics, but pretty jerky. pretty overall, pretty poor. I mean, the actual animation, the movement is kind of jerky, you know what I mean? Which in a machine like this is pretty unforgivable, you know what I mean? So, anyway, listen guys, that's 10 minutes. This is Mach 3 by Loriciels on the Atari ST. Thanks for watching.